We are live. Okay, so today again we have Caroline. I'm going to share my screen so that you see her profile. And she is someone who is so much concerned. Her interest is a lot more into dashboards and storytelling. So that's what for her, she wants to ensure that everybody, in developing dashboards, they are able to get across the story very, very well. And in fact, our Instagram handle is Easy Dashboards. So that's how much that is our own passion. So, and today we are going to have do something interesting. She's going to talk a bit about herself at the start, and then we'll go through the recording she has made for us. And at the end, your questions that you have, you will get her to answer them for you at the end. So during the session, if you have questions, you can leave them in the chat box or you note them down, and then at the end of the session, she will answer them. So that's the approach we are taking today. But first of all, let us do the part one. So the part one is actually listening to Caroline's unique story, unique data analysis journey story. So Caroline, we want to hear from you how you got into this space and how it has been for you.
Hi, everyone. So I would like to thank you, Michael, and all your team for inviting me here to be here. And we are very, I don't know this word, persistent to be here again. So we are fighting with teams, but we are here today. So I really love, as you said, to work with data analysis and developing dashboards. And I started to develop dashboards in 2018 when I saw a video on YouTube about developing dashboards. And some months early, when I saw this video, I had so much difficulty developing like pivot table in Excel, and I used to be afraid of Excel. How crazy is this? But then I learned how to develop things in there, and I was not afraid to use it anymore. And a passion has appeared, and I started to work with Excel and dashboards and developing not only dashboards but reports a little bit smarter in order to people not spend hours in there typing their inputs and building graphs. And then after after 2018, 2019 and so on, I continue to work with that, and not only developing creating graphs and dashboards, but I start to think, what analysis can help my audience to learn things from their data. And then I started to not move, but adding data storytelling skills to my dashboards. And today I work very much with data storytelling on my dashboards. I use not Excel that much as I used to do, but in theory, I continue to apply all everything that I learned with Excel in other softwares, for example, Power BI, Google Data Studio. So one thing that I like to share with you is that the things that I will say in my pre-recorded session is that you can apply in everything that you want to build, like Excel or Power BI and everything. I don't know if it was clear enough, but
Yeah, yes, you did. So, in fact, before I ask the next question, that's supposed to be the last question before we go into what you've prepared for us, it's something from what you said, which is You say you don't use Excel that much like before anymore. You also use Power BI, you use Google Data Studio. So I'm really interested. I've always wanted to know the difference in experience. What do you think is the difference in the Power BI and Google Data Studio?
Oh, so I'm still learning. There are differences, but like I will say a good point and a bad point.
Okay.
So one good point about the Data Studio, I think everyone with a Gmail account can use. So I think it's more, I don't know if this is this word, accessible. It's
Yeah.
more people can use.
Yeah.
But for a bad point that I learned while I was using is that we need a huge table only to build. We cannot, well, we can, but it's not that good to build relationships between tables. So this part it's not good. Or for example, if I have a database from January sales and I want to bring together with another database from March, for example, I cannot put this data together inside Google Data Studio. I cannot turn these two databases into one. So I think this is not a good point. But well, we can build things, we can develop dashboards in there, but I think that it's not that strong as Power BI.
Ah,
I think this is the main differences.
okay, okay. So the second question, the other one in the first question, it would be nice to also get to know. So have you always been working with data, say from, I don't know, maybe from year 2, year 3? Has it been something you've been doing all from your childhood, or it was like you did something else even up until university, and it was after university you moved into data? How was
Yes.
your journey from
Oh,
really?
okay. So I am a production engineer,
Whoa.
and before my engineer college, I took I am a materials technologist,
Okay.
and I study ceramic materials.
Oh,
I used to use Excel, but like just to some averages, some bar charts, and only this. And during my production engineer college, I I was I wanted to use pivot tables in my internship, and then my passion appeared at this point. So I was in almost in the middle of my production engineer college.
whoa.
And then I start to work with this intensively.
Wow, wow, great. So the last question, so we can move into the presentation for today, is so what's your advice for people who also want to get into this space? What will you advise them to do?
um, I think when someone asks me this question, I think the first thing I would say it's like practice a lot. But how, right? So if you don't have an opportunity to practice in your job with real data, you can download fake data, for example, or you can use like in Excel those here in Brazil we say aleatório entry. So there's a function from random data, and you can prepare your own fake data, and then you can practice. So I think this is the first advice. And the second is related to the practice advice. It's like you have to look to your data as a child. What does that mean? When we are a child, we are very curious about things. We want to know why some
Right.
things happen. What happened if I click here or do that? So I think you have to rescue this this skill from your child, and then you can apply this to your data. And never stop. So never think that you know everything, because you'll be always studying. So now, for example, I'm studying very much about Power BI. And when I think I will feel more comfortable with Power BI, I will start to learn more from Python. And then I think we never know everything. And even inside Excel, I think I need to practice more and learn more. So I think that's the third advice. I don't know. And watch everything that you can find on YouTube. Participate from a community like this, because be with people that want to learn more from the same thing that you want help you a lot as well.
Wow. Thanks a lot. So with that, I hope you've all heard the awesome tips about how you can improve your skill and get into this space professionally. So right now, I'm going to go into the presentation. I have everything set up. Great. Let me just be sure. So we start.
Hello, I'm Caroline or Carol.
So I just want to confirm from everyone that you all can see the video and you all can hear clearly, so that can go on.
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So thank you. So we continue and.
Well, good evening, good morning, or good night. I assume that you all really like this subject, or you wouldn't be here today, right? So I want to say that I'm very glad for being here today, sharing knowledge from a subject that I really love. So thanks, Michael and Ifani, for inviting me here. I must confess that I almost said no to when Ifani contacted me, because I was afraid to be here today speaking in English, that it's not my native language. I'm from Brazil, so Portuguese is my native language, but I decided to speak with you, even with this fact, because our lives gets better if we challenge ourselves, right? So thank you again for inviting me and letting me reach this new step. I used to teach English 10 years ago. It was my first job actually, but then my jobs were, they changed and I don't use English today very often. But if there's something that I said and it's not clear to you, please let me know here in the comments, that I can explain using other words, okay? Let's begin from the beginning. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. So I prepared this Excel file just to have something to follow, but we will talk very much about data storytelling, and then we will see how we can apply some tips in Excel, okay? And during our session, I want to know what you're thinking about, what you already use in your files, and if what I'm saying to you will be useful, okay? So this is our agenda. I will start talking about who am I, and then we'll follow talking about data storytelling, Excel tips, and book recommendations that I really love, okay? So who am I? I said something about myself early, but I share with you more things. So I started to use Excel for real in 2018 when I saw a dashboard, and I got very interested in that. I was amused how we could see data in there and how easy. possible to do that. Then I met a video on YouTube from Karina Bessia, and I joined her training program, and I discovered that I want to work with that for the rest of my life. It's kind of a new world open for me when I start to work with dashboards in Excel. So I used to see Excel as an enemy, but when I start to study and see that he's not an enemy, he turned out to be my best friend. So when I developed my first dashboard, I realized that I want to work with that, and I start to develop dashboards for companies I was working and develop dashboards as a freelancer as well. Today, I still work with dashboards, but I start to study and get involved with not only developing dashboards in Excel, but also in Google Data Studio, Power BI, Google Sheets, especially. I'm very happy because I think I was one of the first people, to share some dashboards developed in Google Sheets. And people used to say that it's very difficult to work with Google Sheets, but I don't think so. I think it's very possible, and we can help people with that as well. But we're here to talk about Excel. Okay. So I more than this, I start to work with not developing these things, not just creating graphs and other things, but also thinking what indicators, KPIs, key performance indicators, can help business to solve their problems. And I start to apply data storytelling concepts in my reports. And talking about data storytelling, I decided to bring this subject here because it's something that we are hearing a lot, we are reading a lot, and it makes our reports into a new level. So I think it's very important. And to talk about data storytelling, I brought here some challenges data faced through over time. And then we'll talk about data storytelling. So the first challenge that I bring you here is about collecting data. So I think that's not a problem anymore for big companies, right? But just a parenthesis, there are still companies, small companies or entrepreneurs that still don't collect their data. So they're missing an important piece of their work. And the second challenge was how we could storage data, right? So we have so many data. We are working with zettabytes scale. So I can imagine how much it is. But to help us imagine how much it is, I brought here what a zettabyte means. So in this image, I have 1 kilobyte, that is 1,000 bytes, right? And then this is what a zettabyte means. So it's a huge number, right? But then we still have techniques to help us to collect and to store our data, right? But what I want to say is that this is not a challenge for us. And the next thing is, okay, we have too much data, but we need to know what the data want to tell us. So the next one is about how we can analyze our data. And we have now several techniques, indicator specifics for several areas and different softwares. And another parenthesis is that people know Excel and people want to analyze their data with Excel. So I think that Excel is the most known program software to do that. And then one thing that is very important, and this is the next challenge I want to share with you, is the communication. So, okay, we have collected our data, we have a place to store our data, we analyze it, but how can we share what we saw in our data? How can we share what we imagine that can happen if we change something? How can we share what our insights and so on? So communication is very important in this process. We need to communicate with people to understand context, problems people want to solve with their data. Communication to understand what we need to do with the data, and communication with what we found with our data. So communication is in these several parts. And we can use communication to make easier for others to understand what we thought when we were working with our data. So this is something very important. To explain a little bit more about data storytelling, I will show you a Venn diagram developed by Brent Dykes. He wrote a book about data storytelling. I will show you almost at the end of our session, but he also writes articles for Forbes website. So I strongly recommend you to read these articles. And this is something like this. Okay, this is very pretty. I love this Venn diagram because it shows us the three components of data storytelling and how these three components work together. I will drink just a little bit of water because I'm talking too much. Okay. Batteries were reloaded. Okay, so the first component I would like to talk with you is about narratives. Okay, so what my audience want to know. So who is my audience first? So audience here is the person or people that want to understand what we have with their data, or people that have a problem and you are there to help us to analyze their data and to answer what they want to know. Okay, and when I talk about narrative, it's not just our verbal communication. It's also our visuals that I will talk in a few minutes, but it's something related to what is the order, the sequence that I will present. So how can I order? I think that's the correct word. How can I order what I need to speak, I need to show to my audience? So this order help others to understand better our analysis. So when we think of this, oh, I will present this subject first, this subject after this one, and this one I will put in the end because I need to explain all of this first. So this is something that helps us to build or to develop a story with our data. When we use stories with data, we are connecting more with people because stories is something warmer, it's something that can activate our emotions, and our data is something cold, punctual, objective, and when we use these two together, it's awesome. Okay, so narrative help us with this, okay? And well, and here here on the right side of the image, we have a short description about these combinations. So narrative help us to expand our data. So when we talk about data, it's something, of course, needs to be here, because without data, we don't have data storytelling, right? And the next one, and I'm sorry, but this is one of my favorite components, is the visuals. So when we talk about visuals, I'm not saying just, let me show you, not only this kind of charts, I don't know if I can say graphics in here, but not only this, graphs, right? It's, did I choose the best graph for the thing I want to show? And do I have a clean visual? Because when we have clean visuals, I will talk this the Excel tips session. When we have clean visuals, we are helping our audience. Oh, this is difficult to say. Help our audience to understand what we have in there. So, the more clean our visuals are, faster my audience will understand what I'm showing to them. Okay, so I hope that my English was fine in this sentence. And okay, so I will talk about this part of visuals, and this is something that I work very much in my daily activities, because it's not always that you have the opportunity to explain, to have this conversation with people that will see your visuals, right? Sometimes you just send your visual through email, and you have to use elements, visual elements, that can be just like a version of you. Explain to them what you have in there. Okay. And then I think that I have talked about these three components, and here you have how they can be together: narrative, data, narrative explain our data, visuals enlighten our data, so they help us to reveal insights that are hidden from data. This is perfect. There's a book called Storytelling with Data from Coley. I will show you later. I would pick up my book in here, but okay. So she talks very much about this, right? So how we can present or reveal our insights. It's very good. I just remembered about this book. And then narrative, the next part, narrative with our visuals help us to engage our audience. And if we engage our audience, it's easier for them to understand what we're trying to say. Maybe they will agree what next steps that you can suggest to them. Okay. But what data storytelling has to do with Excel? So here in Excel, we can use several functionalities in order to improve our visuals and communicate better with all the people that will receive and analyze our reports, as I said before. So, just another parenthesis. We have so many things related to the subject. I want to bring you the best parts, just to present you this what data storytelling means. And I'm sure that you like this subject, and with my recommendations you can develop more your skills about this. Okay, so here in Excel, talking about functionalities and what we can do to help our visuals, I decided to bring these tips. So the first one is to be organized. okay? So I will show you one thing that can help us to organize our files is, for example, this header that I developed here to bring to you. So here we can navigate through the pages using this kind of links, okay? Okay, I show you the books. Okay, so I will talk about the books in the end. Okay, so I will show you how to use this header, how to use links, the importance of colors, icons. Oh, colors, we have 2 times in here. Okay, so to explain about how I prepare this header, I will open another blank file, blank workbook, and then, okay, we have a blank file. When we organize our files, we're helping people to understand what you will present in there, how to use your file. And for example, here, just for me, I hope I will not forget. Okay, so here I use this page to show you our agenda, but you can use the first page from your report or your file, a page that you can explain what we have in there. So how to use the file, what people will find in there. So for example, here you can find a sales report from 2018, and we'll see categories, performances, I don't know, something like this. You can talk a little bit more about it. You can write your email in case people have questions and so on, things like this, okay? Other thing, you can mention all the files or report that you use it to develop this one. So it's a good thing because people tend to ask this. The last time it was updated and so on. Okay, so the main objective is to have a page that you can explain everything that you think is necessary to help others to understand what you have in your file. Okay. Okay, so we wanted to build a header, right? And in order to build our header, I think it's best to talk about color before. So in this file, I use colors related to my logo. So this is my Instagram, professional Instagram, and with my name, you can find me in LinkedIn and add me there. So in my Instagram, I use specific colors to teach something. And here I use these colors. So people will connect the dots. Okay, this color she uses in her Instagram. So when we use custom colors, we connect better with people, okay? And there are lots of, each color has a meaning, so it's very interesting. And so my tip here is to use the color that your logo has. And I will show you how to do that. So here, we will use PowerPoint to help us. Let me open here. So this is the logo I took from your website. I hope that is correct. You are UrBizEdge, I don't know, or UrBizEdge, I don't know. So, okay, I will say this logo and we will take the code of each color that is here, okay? And we use these colors to develop this header now. Okay, I will erase this, guys. And then, okay, This is the logo. I'm using from 365 version, okay? And then, but you can do this using other previous versions, okay? So I will insert a rectangle, or I don't know, it can be a circle or other shape. Okay, this is the blue color that appears always, right? And then I will use a functionality that is here, but it's not in Excel. It would be great if we have this in Excel, but since we don't have in there, we need to use PowerPoint. So I need to discover which color code, I don't know if it's correct like this green color represents, and this purple, I think it's purple, represents. So I will click in this shape, right button, fill, and we have here eyedropper. So I will click in here, and then I will move my mouse here. I found the green point, and you can see that here it's written the RGB code. It means red, green, blue code. These three codes together results in this green, okay? And then you can see a number. I will write this number because I'm not that good remembering things. So 106, 189, and 80. Okay, and then we can do this. I will click in the green, and my rectangle now it's with the same green that we have in our logo. Okay, I will I press it ask. Right. Oh, it's difficult to say what I'm doing here in English and do this. So again, I will click in my rectangle, right button click. I don't know if it's correct. And I will take the outline because I just don't like it. Again, and then right. If you want to, if you miss it, this part of the color code, we can do like this. Click on the color that you want to copy. Okay, it's here. Right button, fill, more fill colors, and then PowerPoint show us the RGB code and the X code. This X code is very good, but I think it's only in Office 365, okay? So that's why I show you how to use the RGB code. And okay, the number is here. And once again, I will write here the color code for me to remember. Okay, so we have green, and now I will duplicate this shape with the shortcut Ctrl D. Okay, I will put here on the right side, and I'll do the same thing. So let's do this again. I will click on the rectangle, right button of the mouse, fill eyedropper, and now I want to discover what this purple, what is this code. Okay, I will click, and now I will fill more fill colors, and okay, 168, 81, 138. Okay, so let's write this code here, 81, 138. Okay, I have these two colors. So I will use these colors to develop my header. Okay, so let's go to Excel. So the first thing I do here is insert shape, and I will use this rectangle. Okay, my screen that I'm using here is very big, and then you can use a rectangle that will go to until your last column that you can see here. So for me, it's A, C, for example, okay? But everything is covered with my rectangle. Oh, first, I forget how to do that. I forget how to share with you. So we'll put in here in Excel that code we discovered in PowerPoint. So to do that, we will go to the page layout ribbon. I think that's the name. Let me check here. Yes, the ribbon tab. I have to share with you. I don't know the name in English from the parts from Excel, so I have a picture showing me this. Okay. So page layout, ribbon, colors, and then you click here, customize colors. And okay, so I will, you can put a name that you will understand better. So I will put here 1, 2, 3, just to put a name. And then we have this 6, accent 1, accent 2. So this is the main colors we have here by default. So I will click here, mark colors, and then we can bring here that code we wrote. So 106, 189, 80. Okay, this is the first one. But one thing I want to share with you is that we can use 6 colors in here, but we have only 2 in our logo, right? So one thing that we can do is to use darker colors using that code. For example, here, this is the first. The green is already selected. I will click in more colors, and in this scale, I will click here and choose a darker color. Okay. And then we can use, for example, 3 kind of green and 3 kind of purple. For example, okay, you can play with other colors. You can use gray color. Gray color is very good for us because it matches with almost everything. I use, well, if you look at my LinkedIn or my Instagram, you see that I use very much gray in my dashboards. I really like this color. But then here we can use this one, and I do the same thing. Okay. And now the purple. 168, 81, 138. Okay. But here I will mark colors again, and I will choose a darker color. Okay. This one, mark colors, not so darker. And the last one here. Okay. See, this is an example, okay? You can use other colors, or you can use colors that are good with this one. It's a world of possibilities, okay? Save, and okay. That blue that we are using, it was the blue from the custom colors, not the custom, the color that were here by default, right? And then that's why this rectangle changed. But now we'll change again. We're going to the field section. And now we have the colors that we set in here, okay? So I will put this green, right button again, outline, no outline, okay? And now I can use this logo, Ctrl C, here Ctrl D, but we'll have a problem here, right? Because this is the green that we have in here. So we can use the gray color. Here, for example, a little darker. Okay. And now, here in view, I want to take this, zoom things, okay. I will take away the grid lines, headings, and see how your Excel is more clear now. Okay, it's here. And now I will insert some the name of the pages here. You can use word art or text box. I like word art. I use the first one, but we will change this. So the first one, for example, is page 1. I will put that in here. So it's better for you to, let me put that in here. So it's better for you to know what pages that we'll put in here, because first you can develop your header in the first page, and then you just copy and you change just a few things, okay? I will put this in other font size, and the color, I will use this, the green one, I think will be better. Okay, I will change, I will use Verdana, for example. And you can use this in other position. For example, in my file, I use this in the middle, right? And then we can put in here, in the right side. And then, okay, page 1, I will duplicate this, this word art. You can use Ctrl D or simply click here, the right button, and then copy and paste what you prefer. And now it's page 2. They are not aligned, right? So I can click in page 1. I will press Shift button, and then in shape format, align, and I can put them aligned. So I use the align button. Okay, now they are aligned. Okay, in this example, I use only page 1 and page 2 to be faster, but now you can do this thing. You can duplicate this first page. It's because I use a shortcut. I will teach you. So you can click here, Ctrl, Shift, click in the page, and you can drag and drop. And now we have, I will change page 1 and page 2. Okay, look that how can I say? It doesn't look that we are changing the pages, right? Because it's the same thing. Now we are going to do one thing that is important. You can click on the objects. So I click in the rectangle. I'm using Shift, click in the rectangle, Shift, I click in the logo, page 1, page 2, and then with the I will right-click, size and properties, and in this part, in the right side, I will go to properties and I will click here. Don't move or size with cells. This is very important. I will show you why. This is a blank file. So I will first I will prepare this header. But let's see the problem. I will click here in grid lines, headings, formula bar. Let me see if this helps. So I will change T column and see page 1 and page 2, they're changing, right? But page 1, we already changed this, right? So I will click here, grid lines, headings, and then I will change T column, and page 1, page 2 are in the same place. So this is very important. So I will delete page 2, and then I will duplicate page 1 again. Ctrl Shift, click, drag and drop. So page 2, okay? And now I will do this thing. Here, my file, I use white color for the page that we are, and blue, something darker, to indicate the other pages that our file has, and you can go there. And then here, for example, page 1, I will let this using green, and page 2, I can, for example, use a darker gray, or let me see. For example, so I know that we have page 2, and I will do here the same thing, but with page 1 here. And now we will connect these pages. So I'll click in page 1, and we can use the right button, link. And here in place in this document, you have here the list from all the pages we have in our file. And then I'm talking about page 1, so I will click here on page 1, and here in screen tip, I can click and explain something that can help my audience or the final user understand what happens if he clicks in there. So go to page 1, for example, okay. And then when I place my mouse over this page 1, here appears a message, go to page 1, for example. And here I will do the same, but with page 2. Other way to configure this link is to use a shortcut that is Ctrl K. And then I will click here, page 2, and for example, go to page 2. Okay, so when I click here, I'm page 2. And now I will do this the same here with page 1 and page 2. Ctrl K, page 1, and here, Ctrl K, page 2. And the screen tip, you can write what you think is better. And then, well, it's ready. So this is an example. Okay, just for us to see that it's happening, I will take away in view, formula bar, I will take this, guys, and here the same thing. And now we'll have 2 pages looking, it looks like we're in a website, for example. And okay, it took more time than I expected to explain, but this is something very nice to do, and people used to like People tend to like this kind of header. And you can use icons. For example, I love a website called Fetch Icon. Let me show you. And if you use Office 365, you already have icons in there. For example, I use Home. So let me see. I will use this house icon. Let me see if he lets me to download. Continuing. So I want a PNG. And then you can do the same thing, but using icons to navigate through your file. So let me show you. Okay, home. And now here we have the icon. So I will copy right button, copy. I will go to my Excel file and control, oh, sorry. I don't know why he did that to me. Copy once again here. Okay, he's not helping me, so I will come here and insert pictures from this device. I think it's from my desktop. Okay, let me see. Okay, so this is an icon, as I said earlier, and we can do the same here. So you can use icons. Icons are great visual elements that help us to understand what we have, not only headers, but to explain your analysis. For example, you were using analysis about sales. So you can put an icon of something that represents money, for example, people will understand better. Okay, so we're talking about headers. So the same thing, Control K, and then you can choose the page you want to go. If you want to write a screen tip, okay, and then your icon is ready, okay? So I love to use headers in my reports. And then you can show or teach people how to use, or even if you present one thing, you don't need to copy and paste in PowerPoint. For example, you can present here. You can choose the page 2, for example, to put your graphs, everything you want to present, and then you can come here in Excel. Let me show you, for example. You can make it more clear, clicking here and here, auto hide ribbon. Okay, so this is better for us to present, right? Okay, so I will save this and I will send you with the other file. And next thing I want to show you. So let me see if I talked about all of these guys. So be organized, please. And then one thing that I talked before is that the use of the right visual. So you don't need to always use graphs to represent your data. So we can use, okay. I remember what I did in here. Okay, you can use big numbers. You can use tables, but don't use huge tables. You can use bar charts if you're talking about categories, or column or bar charts, stacked charts. I don't like them very much, but you have several options. I put here the link from where I got this image. It's from a Coley book, and you can know all other situations that you can use each graph. But a tip that I give you is that choose your visual. After preparing your visual, take a step and see if that's clear, if it's showing what you want to show, okay? And ask other people to look for your visual and tell you what they understand about it. This helps us a lot. It helps us to understand what we need to change, because almost every situation, when we think that what we prepared is good, but it's not clear to the other. Okay, so ask for feedback is very important. And here I prepared an example from one thing that I always say, that is, let your visual breathe. Okay, so this is a random data that I put here just for us to talk about. Then I use categories and I put here the sales value, and then I use the let me do this again. So I will select the cells, go to the insert ribbon. Here in the column or a bar chart, I will choose this one, and then we have the chart. So this is the chart we obtain from Excel when we select our data for this example, and then we can present this in a better way. For example, I was talking the narrative about understanding our audience, right? So it's always good for us to understand what our audience wants, who is our audience, and then we can write in here things that can help our audience to understand. For example, the title. So think in titles that really explain what this means. So here you could use just sales, or here, July sales report overview, for example. So I'm showing you or telling you that this visual represents all the sales we had in July. Okay, so it's things that help to understand the context of this analysis. And other thing I want to share with you is that always, when you can, of course, is to order, what's the name here? Sort from largest to smallest, or smallest to largest your data, and then prepare your visual. Because here we can use, we can understand, in fact, which category was better, or which category was not that good. So the best one was the pen category, and the worst was book category, okay? And this helps us, our audience, to understand a lot. And this tip and visuals, and in fact the headers too, you can apply in not only Excel, right? In other software that you use to prepare and show your data, okay? Okay, so other thing I want to show you is that what can you offer more in your analysis? So here, for example, I included the percentage from each category. How do we do that? So here in the cell, I will press F2. So this is the pen value divided by the sum of all categories, okay? So here I have the percentage, and I included this percentage inside my visual. Okay, so I know that pen is the best category, and it represents 28% of all my sales. Isn't that good? Isn't that cool to present to our audience other info that help us to understand what happened? So this is it looks like a small or a silly tip, but it really works in the real world. People tend to like when we present this kind of thing. And how do we do that in here? So I will show you. So I copy the same table here, and then I will select this header, category sales, and I will use a shortcut that is Ctrl-Shift-L or Ctrl-L. Oh, why it's not working? I believe, okay, Ctrl-Shift-L, that's it. I will do that again, select everything, these two headers, Ctrl-Shift-L, okay? To insert a filter. Or you could do the normal path, that is to select these guys. Where is my ribbon? Here. Sort and filter, okay. And then in sales, sort largest to smallest, okay. And here, this guy, divided by the sum. I will fix this range. Okay, I can select all the cells I want to apply this formula, and then I will use another shortcut. I don't know if you already know, but this helped me a lot. I use very much. That is Ctrl D, and he copy everything that is in the first cell to the rest that is selected. So it's like Ctrl down, right? And you can copy. Okay, I have this percentage, and now I will choose these two guys, insert, column, and then we'll let your visual breathe. I will click here, delete, clicking these lines, delete. Here we can use other title, for example, categories, performance, sei lá. I don't know, I speak in English, sei lá, it means, I don't know. Categories, performance. And you can use here, July, I don't know, something that help to understand. And I will click here in the column, right click, add data labels again. Okay, it's here. And you can use a larger font, increase the font size. Okay, and again, click here in the column, right, format data labels. And I believe that this functionality is available from Excel from 2013, 16 and so on. That is here, label options, value from cells. So I will choose other cells that I want to be shown, that I want to appear in my visual. So I click here, and now I will choose these cells. Okay, and now they are here. And here in separator, you can choose if you want a comma, semicolon, period, new line, or space, new line. And then it's here. Now I can decrease my font size. And okay, it's here. So this is something that can help our audience to understand. Okay. These were some tips I want to share with you. If we had more time, I would share more stuff, but you can find my LinkedIn or Instagram, and you can share with me. You can send me a message showing what you prepared, and if I will do my best to answer you with my feedback. Okay. And then to help you improve uh, data storytelling skills, I brought you here these recommendations. So I talked very much about storytelling with data book. Is this one from Cole? She's very good on what she does, and I recommend you to enter in her website storytellingwithdata.com. I believe it's like this, and you have exercises, everything in English there, and you can practice, you can read her blog, you can listen to her podcast on Spotify, and it's very good. So the first published was this one, this white one, and the second one I have in here in this uh, pile of books. It's the Let's Practice version that has lots of exercises. And the last chapter is very good because it helps you on how can I apply what I learned here in my work. So it's very good. It's the chapter number 9, I believe. So I talked about visuals, graphs, charts, and so on, and how charts lie from Alberto Cairo. It's very good. He shows us bad examples of charts or graphs that were not used well, and he discussed why it's not good and what we could do to present this data efficiently. Okay, so it's a great book. So the next one is Effective Data Storytelling from Brent Dykes. As I mentioned before, it's very good. And if you work communicating, not only showing your data, sending dashboards to other people, but if you have to prepare what you saw in your data, what needs to be done once you have analyzed your data, the story from Nancy Duarte is very good. Her focus, I don't know if I can say that, it's about the communication itself, how you can, what verbs you can use to communicate your data, for example. So it's very good. And then, guys, I hope that you like what I presented here. I'm sorry if there's something I couldn't explain properly. But I am here. If you have any questions, I can answer you. You can send me a message in LinkedIn or Instagram, and I will do my best to answer you as soon as possible. Okay? Thanks again for your attention, for inviting me here, and I hope to be with you in the next sessions. Okay?
Wow, thanks a lot for the very practical and also very visual. That's the word I want to use. So questions. So now is the time for questions, as we have come to the end of the presentation itself, and Caroline is still with us. So this is the opportunity. I see someone's hand is up. Tijani, your hand is up. Please carry on and ask your question.
Hello. Thank you, Caroline, for the insightful presentation. And thank you, Michael. Yes. My question is, I don't know. Maybe what art would be fine. Sometimes when you are presenting, the idea of this presentation is if you know how to use Excel very well, you will not need to go to maybe inside PowerPoint to present when you can as well do it on Excel according to your presentation. So sometimes, while presenting data, sometimes you want to present some text, some bullet points before, like in PowerPoint, maybe your first and second presentation, your first and second pages would be bullet points of some things you are explaining, and maybe the only place you have data is your maybe fourth page, fifth page, and then you go to seventh page, page 8. So if we were to use Excel to do the same presentation and we don't want to go on PowerPoint, so I see that we can create page 1, page 2, as you have said. So what that means is that where we now have to use bullet points, so we can use word art for that, right? I don't know if my question is clear, Michael.
Me too, I'm a bit confused about the word art.
No, what? So I mean, which text is best to use on PowerPoint to present bullet points? Because not necessarily that all our presentation will be data.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Let me try to rephrase, then you can see if we got it.
Okay.
So
Yes.
Caroline, what I got from his question is that he was able to see how to apply what you explain in terms of page 1, page 2. So that can be like slide 1, slide 2 in PowerPoint.
Yes.
So that is very happy with that. But then, like in one slide now, which in our case would be like a page or a sheet, if you want to highlight different points, which in PowerPoint you could have used them bullet points, what can we use in Excel? Am I correct, Tijani? Is that what you?
Yes, exactly. That will make it very well presentable, since we don't want to go to PowerPoint. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think I understand what you were asking. I completely understand that not only Excel can help you if you need to present several texts, for example, with bullet points. But one thing I like to do is, for example, to show there's a functionality that we can hide objects inside Excel. And then if I want to present this text in front of my graph, I just click there and the text appears. It's one possibility. But if you feel that you have too much text to present, see, I'm not an enemy from PowerPoint. I like him, but I think you can, if you need to present your data, you can use Excel as well and try to use this kind of hide and appear text. But if you need to, for example, present sentence by sentence, maybe you should consider using PowerPoint. I don't know how much data you need to present. If I think it's more text than data, than graphs, maybe PowerPoint can help you better. Or if you need to present so many data, maybe you should concentrate in Excel. I will look for the name of this functionality that I mentioned, and you can try and see if it fits to your situation.
Thank you very much. I think that's
did I answer you?
That's a good response. Yes, you did. Thank you. So if we can share that functions that allow us to be able to display that maybe two pages that are bullet points, it will really help. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes. At the end, I will look for this functionality and maybe share with Michael. I don't know. I will see how I can share with you this.
Okay. So
on a short video, I can record it here.
Okay. So thank you. Any questions from any other Participant from anyone in the house? Okay. All right. So if there are no more questions, I would like to emphasize 3 things. One is that Caroline has been very, very generous to give us the practice files. So the things she took us through today, if you check the chat box, I have put them there. So I have, it's a very easy to click and download. She shared them with us ahead of the session. So I have uploaded them in somewhere that makes it easy for you to download easily one by one. And that's what I've given you now. Then number 2 is, now I even know how to write her handle because it's very easy to remember. So connect with her on Instagram, you know, so that you keep getting more of these useful tips, easy underscore dashboard. Let me just confirm. Let me confirm if I spelled it correctly. I have you on my Instagram, so it's very easy for me to confirm. Okay, I think it's yes. I didn't make mistake. Good. So easy underscore dashboards. Okay, there's an S after the dashboards.
I
Great.
wrote here already.
Oh, great. So, and then the third thing, oh yes, I've seen. The third thing is, so the session we are having in about 30 minutes thereabout, Frederico is here, and in case you are interested in joining us for that one, let me just quickly put the link. So it's about Power BI, and that's the third thing. So again, just to ask before we wrap up today's session, do you have any questions that you have you will want Caroline to answer? So if you do not have, I'm going to at this point say a very big thank you to Caroline. We've taken so much of your time, but I know that you said you are happy to be with us, so we are very grateful, even though you do not think we are inconveniencing you, but we are very, very grateful. And the other thing I want to say is that I know you are always, you said you're trying out new things always. So in case if there's anything new that you want to share with us anytime in the future, we'll be glad to have you. Maybe even on that data studio or even the Power BI, we'll always be happy to have you again. Tijani, I see your hand up. I don't know if it's a different.
Yes, the question is for you, maybe after Caroline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can ask later.
Okay, all right. So thanks a lot. And to everybody, have a nice Sunday. Do not forget that if you're interested in Power BI, join us as Federico is going to take us through something interesting. I've posted it in the chat box. And Caroline, have a very nice rest of the afternoon. And thanks a lot. Obrigada. Am I correct?
Thank you. Bye.
Yes.
Obrigada. Okay,
De nada.
Interesting. Okay, interesting.
Okay,
So,
bye.
Michael, very quick one.